Kapishyan Atmanam Chogra Tapasa Vipratichirinam Krisham Abhikšnavagha Kapishan Jatilan Kutilalakan Atmanam Chogra Tapasa Vipratichirinam Krisham. Word to word translation. Abhikshna, again and again. Avagaha, by bathing. Kapishan, grey. Jatilan, matted. Kutila, curled. Alakan, hair. Atmanam, her body. Cha, and Ugratapasa, by severe austerities. Bhibrati, became. Chirinam, clothed in rags. Krisham, thin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. She began to bathe 3 times daily, and thus her curling black hair gradually became grey. Due to austerity, her body gradually became thin, and she wore old garments. Purport. It is the practice of the yogi, brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi to bathe at least 3 times daily, early in the morning, during noontime, and in the evening. These principles are strictly followed even by some grihasthas, especially brahmanas, who are elevated in spiritual consciousness. Devahuti was a... Sorry, excuse me. Devahuti was a king's daughter and almost a king's wife also. Although Kardam Muni was not a king, by his yogic mystic power, he accommodated Devahuti very comfortably in a nice palace with maid servants and all opulence. But since she had learned austerity even in the presence of her husband, there was no difficulty for her to be austere. Still, because her body underwent severe austerity after the departure of her husband and son, she became thin. To be too fat is not very good for spirituality advanced life. Rather, one should reduce because if one becomes fat, it is an impediment to progress in spiritual understanding. One should be careful not to eat too much, sleep too much, or remain in a comfortable position. Voluntarily accepting some finances and difficulties, one should take less food and less sleep. These are the processes for practicing any kind of yoga, whether bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, or hatha yoga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satarine Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapatakamelam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Saganaraghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakanalalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. This is a very, though it seems only one paragraph, the purport has lot of intense meaning that we can all, something is there to learn, adopt, cultivate it, practice it. So here, 3 points. Mother Devahuti, she is a she is the wife of Kardam Muni, great yogi, great says, great Muni. But still, because she has come from she is the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, she has come from such a opulent family. Kadamuni, using all his mystic power, he created a palace, flying palace, which has thousands of rooms, and it can accommodate thousands of maid servants. So he left her with so much of opulence. But still, Devahuti is not interested in enjoying all these opulences like a lotus, though it is in the muddy water, how it was untouched. In the same way, Mother Devahuti is completely untouched with all the opulences, and sincerely she was practicing austerity, and she was aloof, she was detached, and her heart is completely focused on the in the meditation of the Supreme Lord. So that is one point. And second point is, we should also practice austerity. We should not eat too much, we should not sleep too much. And whoever is spiritually enthusiastic and focused to advance, we should also adopt these practices. And third one is, though it's not like related to only Hatha Yoga. Any yoga, Hatha Yoga means Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So we will focus on these 3 points. Here, also it is mentioned that only sannyasis need to practice or only vanaprasthas need to practice these things. It's not like that. Even though gruhasthas, even though they are interested in, whoever is interested, even though they are in the gruhastha they should adopt this process. So these are all the important points. We'll focus more on this. Here, Mother Devahuti, we saw from the when Kardamuni is there itself, she was practicing lots of these austerities. If we recollect in the beginning, when Kardamuni got married to Devahuti, she came out of his sincere prayers to the Supreme Lord, because he was, though he was a yogi, serious yogi, with the will of the Supreme Lord, he had the desire to get married, not an ordinary woman. He wants to marry who is alike in his thoughts, who can support his spiritual life. So we should also educate our kids to have desire to get married, not to a rich girl or not to a wealthy girl, not like that. But we should also educate them to have a desire to get married, who can support them spiritually, so that together easily they can progress towards the spiritual life and spiritual destiny, to go to the abode of the Supreme Lord or to serve the Vaishnavas. If it is not like that, in the current world, what is happening? Husband is having one kind of thoughts and wife is having another kind of thoughts. So there is no alignment. At the end, they will spend their life in frustration. Rather, before marriage itself, if the desire for what kind of spouse properly they have to choose, it will be a wonderful life, like here Mother Devahuti and Kartamani. So Devahuti, even though she is coming from the royal order, but her thoughts are very spiritual. Later they manifested, but initially this spiritual inclination, spiritual desire, uh, spiritual, that meditation, sincere practice of devotional service in the initial phases, it is not manifested in the Mother Devahuti. But she was sincerely serving her husband. as an ideal wife, as a very chaste wife. She was following lot of austerities. She used to get up before before Kardamani. She used to arrange everything, all the paraphernalia. She used to clean the house. She used to sleep late, and she was forgetting totally about her bodily maintenance. So, after many years, Kardamuni saw how nicely she is serving me. Though she is coming from such a comfortable life, at that time he created a big palace, maid servants to give her bath, to take care of her body. So, she practiced all these austerities when Kardamuni was there itself. And after Kardamuni left, she started regretting. What am I? I was so much immersed in the family life, in having sex life or procreation. I did not take complete benefit of Kardamuni. Then she realized and she took the advantage of the association of Kapiladev, her own son. So Kapil Dev enlightened. After the enlightenment, she completely manifested her spiritual practices. And she is so much determined this time, and she was so much focused on her practices. She is not misusing her life, and she was so much sincere in following all these austerities again, and she was so serious. At the same time, she was practicing the devotional bhakti yoga principles also, which were taught by Kapiladev. So she was doing both austerities and bhakti yoga. But in the seventh verse of this chapter, we came to know that Ahobatasva chapato gariyan yajjigvagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapasya juhur vishnu argya brahmanujur nama grunanti yete. What does that mean? Means the holy name has the potency that it can change the karma of even a born Swapachotokariyan, dog eater fate. So that much degraded life also can be changed into a highly elevated life. That much potency is there for this nama, for the Supreme Lord's holy name. And there it is mentioned that it has all the austerities imbibed in it. Then why still Mother Devahuti is practicing these austerities also? She can just chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord, right? But she was doing. And when we see the other pastimes also, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the home, even Vishnupriya, Mother Vishnupriya was also practicing severe austerities. When she chanted one holy name, then she will put one grain aside and one rice grain. Like that, the whole day, how many ever names she chanted, holy names she chanted, those many grains she used to keep aside, and she used to cook only that grains, and she used to eat and survive only with that cooked rice. That much austerity, along with practicing the holy names of the Supreme Lord. And when we see Archie, the wife of Prut Maharaj, she accompanied her husband. She is such a coming from a lavish family, very opulent family, but she was living a very basic life, living with her husband, sleeping on the in the forest, on the barren land. So she was also. So what these are all incidents are teaching us? What's the need when the holy name itself have all the austerities in it? Why specifically they are all practicing these austerities? So when we see that austerities, human life is meant for austerities. When we see in the fourth canto, human life is meant for austerities. And also in the fifth canto, there is a beautiful verse. Rishabhadeva is preaching to his sons. नायं देहो देहो भाजामृलोके कष्टान् कामान् अर्हति विद्भुजान्ये तपो दिव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्त्वं शुद्ध्येत् यस्मात् ब्रह्म शौक्यं त्वनन्तं सो तपो दिव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्त्वं शुद्ध्येत् यस्मात् ब्रह्म सौख्यं त्वनन्तं. So one should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. So, in order to establish, situate properly in the Bhakti Yoga also, we need penance and austerity. Very clearly mentioned. Tapo Divyam. Why we need Sudhyed Yena Sattvam? Means to get the purification. By such activity, one's heart will be purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. So, what we can understand is if you see six Goswamis, they used to live in a very simple life. They used to wear only copen, and they will not sleep in under a tree on the second day. They will not sleep in the under the same tree. So every day they will change the trees. That means they don't want to be attached even to a tree, and they don't eat more than necessary for the livelihood. So what they are teaching us is detachment and also purification. So though they are exalted devotees, proven that holy name is self-sufficient in everything, but still they used to practice for the proper execution of the devotional service, so that they will not have any attachments other than the holy name. So it's like, how can we understand is, suppose we are making a delicious cake. So in that delicious cake, we are putting all ingredients that are enough to give the taste, texture, or sweetness, everything perfect. But still, what we will do? We will decorate with the frosting, with all the toppings and all. It's enough. Without frosting on all these decorations, also cake is very nice. It is like a perfect juicy cake, very soft cake. But still, why we are doing? It will attract more. It will give more perfection. In the same way, even our holy name is self-sufficient. It is very perfect. When we are decorating with these austerities and finances, it will be more perfect and it will be more pleasing. We can attract the Supreme Lord also with these austerities. So, what we can understand is, if suppose, okay, decorations are very good, very attractive, I will not give quality to the cake. Rather, I will focus more on the decoration. It doesn't make sense. It is literally superficial only. So we need to have proper cake. That means proper sadhana is required. Holy name, chanting holy name is very much required. If there is possibility, we need the decorations. But without decorations also, that is okay. Holy name is self-sufficient. But if we can perform austerities also, that is more good. It doesn't mean that only austerities, only penances will attract Krishna. No. The holy name is the main. The bhakti yoga is the main essence. Only austerity is the supporting. Austerity is like a flavor. So, what we can understand is, if we emphasize too much on the austerities, like too much fasting, too much following the rules and regulations, only following the rules and regulations, but not the bhakti yoga, not giving importance to the bhakti yoga, it doesn't work like that. So, though the purpose of human life is meant for the austerities, austerities and finance alone will not attract the Supreme Lord. All that is attractive is real Bhakti Yoga. And how can we understand following too many rules and regulations will not attract, means There is a nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana aham durvanti katsnena niharamiva bhaskara. So, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. It is mentioned that kevalaya bhaktya, only bhakti yoga will uproot the weeds, the sins, the again the desire to perform any sins, that desire will also be uprooted one who practices this pure devotional service. So what we can understand is, if we practice only bhakti yoga, that is self sufficient, and it can uproot the weeds of the sins to perform again. So that means that is proven. Bhakti yoga is alone enough. But in this Kali Yuga, we have so many limitations, so many distractions to perform this pure devotional service. That's why we are taking the help of these austerities and finances also, so that with more detachments, with less attachments to these comforts, we can mainly focus. Suppose there is a supporting line in this purport also. We should not eat too much, we should not sleep too much. That is a minimum austerity. Suppose what will happen if we are eating too much, we will feel sleepy when our tummy is full. That's why it is said that, right? Who is Atyahara prayasasya prayalpaniyam agraha. And we should have these gentles, tongue, tummy, genitals, all are in one line. So if we control our tongue, our tummy will be balanced and our genitals will not be agitated. In the same way, when we can't even sleep much if we eat limitedly, especially according to the Ayurveda also, we should not eat after the sunset. Why? Because that Jataragni, the fire, will not be there after the sunset to digest everything. When it is not digested and we are eating too much, we have to definitely sleep too much and we cannot get up early in the morning. That's why all the sannyasis and when we see whoever serious practitioners in the spiritual path, they don't eat in the night after especially sunset. So they will eat before 6:30, like that ideal time. So because of that, easily we can get up early in the morning and we can utilize our precious hours for the spiritual practices. This is one thing. So when we are practicing all these, even actually if we think chanting 16 rounds and for performing some devotional activities whole day, that is enough. Then why Srila Prabhupada and scriptures are mentioning that no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling? Why follow these four regulative principles? Kali Yuga Harinama is the Yuga Dharma. Then if we chant alone, that is enough, right? Why we have to follow four regs also? Again, that is also austerity that we need to practice for purification and to get eligibility to chant Suddhanam, pure holy name. And one time there is one devotee went to Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur. He said that Srila Prabhupada, chanting is all in all. I don't want to do any seva, but I want to sincerely follow chanting. Like I was I am very much inspired by Srila Hardas Thakur. I want to chant more, more, more. I want to be immersed more, more, more in the holy name. Then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, fine. If you can do that, that's good, do. And he said to the remaining devotees, don't feed him much. Only one time he has to eat. Otherwise, if he doesn't do any physical service and if he has to chant the whole day, he should not fall asleep, right? So, for that, only feed him one day, one time a day. Then he chanted first day very attentively, very nicely, whole day. Second day also he chanted, eating only one time a day he was. That's it. Third day he was not able to do. So Srila Prabhupada knows our capacity. That's why he arranged in such a way our lifestyle, 2 hours for chanting, 6 to 6.5 hours for sleeping, and all remaining hours we need to engage in various devotional services, so that we will not be trapped by Maya. At the same time, we can perform Bhakti Yoga along with all the austerities, getting up early in the morning, attending Mangalarti, attending doing japa before 8 o'clock. So, attending all the aratis, all involving in engaging in all devotional practices, so that our easily it is balanced. And especially this Krishna consciousness movement is introduced for that purpose. This Krishna consciousness movement is teaching that tapa. Tapa means you have to accept voluntarily some difficulties. Actually, it is not difficulty. Because of our conditioning stage, we are thinking it as a difficulty. In the conditional stage, we feel this austerity as the voluntarily accepting difficulty. But when we are matured, advanced in devotional life, it is a service. Austerities or services to the Supreme Lord. How it is means it is explained. See, actually, it is not difficulty, because just like somebody smoking and we are advising don't smoke, the smoker may feel some inconvenience. But if he voluntarily suffers that inconvenience, that is called tapasya. So, as a deceased person, if we say that don't smoke, don't drink, he will feel it is difficulty to overcome that habit. In the same way, we are feeling that following these austerities as difficulties, because we are accustomed to that overeating habits, oversleeping habits, we are feeling difficulty. But once we are advanced, once we relish this spiritual life, happily we'll get up for Krishna, and we will no more take it as austerity. Just like we are not thinking this no meeting, no intoxication as an austerity. We are happily, we are taking it as part of our devotional service. So in the same way, when we are accustomed, when we are coming out of our diseased condition, any so-called austerity we will not distinguish as the austerity, rather will happily execute it as the service, as Mother Devahuti is doing here. She is no more feeling difficulty at all, rather she is very sincere and happy to execute all these austerities. So in that way, uh, voluntarily we can do anything, we are willing to do anything for Krishna. So thumb rule is smadhavya satatam Krishna vismadhavyo najatjit. Our austerities should not be in such a way that we will forget Krishna, we will feel hard to perform devotional service. It should not be to that extent. It should be a supportive to the our devotional service, that it will enhance our devotional service. In such a way, the limit of our austerities should be. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Manu. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. Week of uh, many holidays. Hope you have a pleasant and safe holidays and spiritually enriching time during this holiday time. We'll be having a program, as I mentioned, on Christmas Day, Wednesday, Christmas Govinda's dinner and gift exchange program. If you have not registered, please pre-order and book your seats as early as possible. Okay. We'd like to offer our praise to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Prahlade, Jai Padma Mukha Padma. उग्रवीर महाविष्णु ज्वलंतं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भद्रं नित्यं नित्यं नमाम्यहं। नरसिंह भगवान की जय।
जय।
प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
जय।
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samal Vaishnavas.
वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Bhaktanam Pavanebhyo
वैष्णव
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah। ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील
जय।
प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि
हरि बोल।
बोल।
थैंक यू कालिंदी माता जी। थैंक यू एवरीवन। हरे कृष्ण।